Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Release to Rise podcast. My name is Kate Patra, and I am super excited today to talk to you guys about why you're doing all the things and trying to fix the problem, and sometimes it seems to be getting worse or nothing seems to be working. Now, make no mistake, it is not an accident that you're here listening to this. It's not an accident that you were called to listen to this podcast or that you chose to listen to this podcast today. There's a reason that you were called to do that. There's either something that you need to hear for yourself, or there's something that you need to hear for someone else in your life. Now, I'm going to explain things the way I see it in my own words and how it has helped me best in the hopes that it will help you so that you can learn from my struggle because no one needs to be struggling out there. We're all just trying to live, and you can all learn from my many, 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 many mistakes. So let's get into it. Honestly, when I think about how life has changed, there is just so much noise in the world. There is so much noise out there. Social media, it is a loud, loud place. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. You should be taking this. You should be taking that. There's a woman on TikTok who is so funny who talks about the perimenopause age and like in your 40s and how she's like, don't be an idiot. You need to be eating 100 grams of protein, you need to be taking your creatine. And she goes through all the things that are like the fads, the trends, the noise that's out there. And that's not to say that some of that noise isn't valuable and some of that information isn't valuable. But because there's so much out there, so many suggestions in terms of supplements and physical actions to take and fashion trends and health trends and all of the things, how to do your makeup, how to do your hair, all of the noise that's out there. That's not to say that there isn't some information that is accurate or that is valuable, but there's so much information that weeding out the valuable parts is incredibly hard. And so oftentimes when we scroll, and I know this happens to me, you get swept up in it and you think, ooh, I've been seeing this more than once. Maybe I need to try that nail polish, or maybe I need to try that brand, or maybe I need to try that supplement. Or you listen to the TikToks, and there's a lot of great doctors out there, and there's a lot of good information out there. But if I tried every supplement that was suggested, my pill box would be bigger than it already is. And it's like a huge whamma jamma, like 90-year-old, no offense to 90-year-olds. Hopefully at 90, I will not be taking these many supplements, but it's huge. So if I listened to that and I bought into that, I would have so much more than I already do. So all this to say that all of the things that I tried and all of the things that people try can sometimes help and move the needle, and sometimes it either leaves us stuck or it leaves us worse off. And there's a reason why we do all these things to fix a problem, and it either makes it worse or we just are kind of stagnant and not moving forward. There's this thing called our creator field. And it's a really, really important part of our life, and not many people talk about it. So it's the electromagnetic field around us. And what it does is it very much includes our beliefs, our thoughts, our actions, how we view the world, how we proceed in the world, how we view ourselves. And each of us has one. So think of it like a movie script, right? Each of us has this movie script, this creator field, this energetic electromagnetic field, I should say. What happens with this movie script is, right or wrong, and for better or worse, all of the things within our script, all of the things within our field get passed out to people, situations, circumstances, and events in our life. And it very much dictates how people see us, how they react to us, how they respond to us, and what happens and what is reflected back to us. Now, again, this could be, it is what it is, right? We all have this. So this could work to our advantage, and it also can be a detriment. Think of it, if the movie script idea doesn't jive with you, think of it like an energetic blueprint, right? You're building a house. This is your energetic blueprint. You're building all of the energy around you. People are going to mirror and reflect that blueprint. If you want a closet here, or if you have a limiting belief here, if you want this over there, if you want these counters in your kitchen, they're going to mirror that blueprint. Now, all of the things in your blueprint are the beliefs you have about yourself, the way you think of yourself, the beliefs you have about the world. So they see this blueprint and they follow the plans. They say, okay, this is what you think, this is how you feel, whether it's about me, yourself, the world, we're going to mirror that back to you. And so oftentimes you'll get repeating patterns, and repeating patterns really aren't coincidences, right? That is our creator field that people, including yourself, are just following the blueprint. They're just following their role in the movie, right? In the script that you're handing out. So, in order for us to have the life we want and live the life we want, in whatever way that might mean, we need to adjust the blueprint. We need to adjust the script. We need to fill in the gaps. We need to create the plan we want. If there's holes in there, if there's gaps in there, if we have parts of our life that we don't like, we need to fix that. That is what our higher self wants. So oftentimes we will see obstacles and we will see challenges, and it's our higher self's way of saying, you have holes in your creator field. You need to flip your script. You need to update your blueprint. It's not working well for you. Hello, pay attention to me. Now, for some people, this can come about in different ways, right? So we can have a problem, we're doing all the things to fix it, and it's, either we're stuck or we're making things worse. This can be in any area of life, right? So, for example, in the vocation area, I had a friend, she was a veteran teacher. She'd been in the field for about 20 years. She had her bachelor's degree, she had her master's degree, she had PhD courses that she'd gotten A's on. Like, she knew her field and her craft. She did well in the coursework. She was educated. And not only was she educated, but most importantly, she was experienced. And she learned from her experience and she was efficient in her job. Really like a solid special education teacher, right? And what happened was around towards the end of her career, her colleagues were starting to reflect something back to her because she had a hole in her creator field. So her hole in her creator field was basically that I'm not worthy. That was the filter that was toggled on within her creator field. So that was part of the script and that was part of the blueprint, right? I'm not worthy. So, regardless of all of her education and regardless of her experience and regardless of the fact that her students loved her, she did a good job, she did great with the parents, her colleagues were reflecting back to her that she was not worthy. Now, what did this look like? This looked like her attending team meetings and having one of her colleagues, a general education teacher, look at her and say, "What do you even do all day?" Which in special education, which this is a little bit of a sidebar, but in special education, oftentimes on paper, our schedule might not look as busy. A lot of times it does, but oftentimes it doesn't. But what happens in special education is your time is not your own. You don't have planning periods or free time because you're constantly supporting your kids in your both your scheduled classes and when they come into your room when they need support. So that was a huge slap in her face when that teacher said that to her. And I remember her being so upset and like, how do they not understand that I work so hard at my job? I love my job. And I'm getting questioned by my counterpart, my colleague, who has less experience than me and is in a totally different field, right? All that person was doing, that teacher, all they were doing was mirroring back to this person that they're not worthy. And why were they mirroring it back? Because in this person's creator field, there was a hole. And that hole in that script, that negative part of the script was saying, I'm not worthy. So that person had a belief about themselves that they're not worthy. And then, because they're handing out that script to everybody, they're handing out that blueprint, follow, follow, follow. People are saying, oh, okay, this person thinks they're not worthy. I'm going to now start thinking that too. And it's all an energetic exchange that happens. I had another friend really struggling to lose weight and doing all the things. So, you want to talk about noise out there in the world? Man, is there a lot of noise when it comes to physical fitness and nutrition and all of the fads that are out there. And it's always been that way, right? It's just what's upcoming and what's next. But this friend of mine, she was trying to lose weight. Man, she was working out regularly. She was eating so well. I mean, truly like the 80-20 rule where you keep it together and you eat clean for 80% of the time, 20% you indulge. I mean, no alcohol, nothing, right? But what was happening was that in her creator field, she wasn't addressing the whole of the emotional root cause of weight gain. Now, when people gain unnecessary weight, now keep in mind this is unnecessary weight. When people gain unnecessary weight, the emotional root cause is that it's associated with a feeling, a lack of safety. And so, what our body does is our body puts on weight to protect ourselves. Now, if you had a read with me, we would dive in. Where do you not feel safe and all those things? But for this example, let's just go general. So there's a lack of safety, right? She was not only not addressing that feeling of lack of safety because she wasn't even aware of it because it was such an ingrained subconscious programming, but she also wasn't doing things to rewire that subconscious programming. And it's hard to know what to do. Subconscious is 95% of our thoughts, and yet we very rarely can access it because it's our subconscious, right? Our conscious mind, we can access those conscious thoughts, but that's only 5% of the show. 95% of the show, 95% of the script is subconscious. And so this person was not addressing the root cause because it wasn't on the conscious brain, and they weren't releasing energy related to those fears and that lack of feeling safe. And so in that case, that person was really, really stuck doing all the physical work, doing all the physical actions, but not addressing the emotional side and the energetic piece. And for true healing and to really shift our creator field, we need to address physical actions, emotional root causes, and take energetic steps to heal. So, is changing your creator field possible? Absolutely. But we have to be aware of it. And this is often why people are stuck because they're not aware of what the script is that they're handing out. They're not aware of what their blueprint says. I'll give you some examples from my own life. I, at one point, was a health and fitness coach for a MLM, and I won't say the name just because, but I joined because I just wanted to help women feel better in their bodies. And that was a struggle of mine, a self-image struggle. I really loved their workouts. I loved their nutrition shake. And I thought if I can start to feel better about myself and if I can start to get stronger and just feel good in my body and in my mind, then I should pay this forward. I wanted to pay it forward. So I got swept up in the group mind virus of it all. So I entered as my own independent mind. By the time I became a coach there was a lot of group contagion. And I didn't know this at the time. You don't know what you don't know, right? But I just blindly followed the fitness plans. So there was one fitness plan, it was 80-day program, and my butt was getting up at 4:30 a.m. to fit the program in. I was following the nutrition plan to a T. I mean, I really, really, really was like type A because your girl was a teacher at the time. So my type A flag was flying high. Not that it has lowered any, but it's getting there. It's getting better. Anyway, I digress. So I followed it to a T. And what happened was I didn't get cut. I didn't get shredded. I didn't lean out. I got inflamed as hell. I was exhausted and I had gained weight, not only from the inflammation, but because I wasn't fueling my body in the way my body wanted. I was fueling it all with clean foods, but it was too much of certain things and not enough of others. And here I was, just blanketly following this. Now, again, a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of the group mind virus where you think just because it works for one person, it's going to work for you. This is where intuition is absolutely key in my life now, because now I do intuitive health and fitness, intuitive health and fitness plans for myself. So I assess where my body is right now. What is the emotional root cause of me not being where I want to right now? And then I deal with the emotional root causes first because we cannot heal a body we hate. We know that. And then what energetically do I need to do? What physical actions do I need to do? And I start to assess all the different types of workouts. I will then create a plan based on what workout will work out, what workouts will be best for my physical aesthetic type that I want. And then I also assess every food I can think of. Is it effective for my body? Is it digestible for my body? That is the true power and change, getting that detailed, right? And don't worry, if you can't do that, someone can. I can do that for you. We all have the intuitive ability. It just has to be trained, right? When I take time to intuitively look in, what am I doing to my creator field? I am filling a gap. I'm filling a hole because I'm spending time on me and I'm spending time on what is best for me. I am now filling a hole of I am worthy. I am valuable. It's proving to myself and my subconscious that it's okay to spend time on me, and it's really important to spend time on me in this way. So, again, that brings about true change. Not only am I altering the creator field, but I'm doing it from a place of physical action, emotional root cause, and energetic shifts. The same thing happens to friends. You know how friends will say, I can't find the love of my life. I'm going to be single forever. I was there too. I was absolutely there too. If you had talked to me in my mid 20s, but when I got single again after being with someone for like 5 years, I was like 25, 26. And it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I had a blast. And also, I was like searching for the one instead of just enjoying my life. When we do that, what my creator field says, when I say it's never going to happen for me, or when I get negative about a certain situation, when I come from a place of I don't have, it's because I'm coming from a place of want. Let me flip that. When you come from a place of want, what that's signaling to your subconscious is I don't have that. I'm not worthy of that. I will never have that. And that's what gets written in your creator field. And then that is what people respond to. That's your blueprint. If that's your blueprint, you're not going to bring in the love of your life. You just won't. And I can dig way deeper into that topic too. But when you get neutral about that, and when you say, okay, I love my life no matter where I am, whether I have someone in it or not, this is exactly what happened to me, guys. So from 26 to like 28, I was a little bit on the struggle bus in a lot of different ways. And I had a lot of growth and I had a lot of expansion in ways that I didn't expect, didn't want. And it sucked, quite frankly. Like it was a really wonderful time of my life, freeing time. And at the same time, it was like so exhausting and so negative, and I felt so lonely. But in those pits, I've found friends that I really enjoyed hanging out with, and I started to create my own life and figure out who I was again after being with someone for 5 years. The more I became happy with my life where I was, the more I became happy no matter what, the more things flowed in, the more friendships came in, the more social opportunities came in, fun dates, horrible dates for some. And then when I really didn't care and I was like, I'm just done. You know how they'll say you will find the love of your life when you stop looking? That is exactly what happened to me. I used to scoff at that and be like, "You okay?" Well, guess what? I couldn't have given two hoots at the time I had met my now husband. So it really, and why? Because I was neutral. I was happy in my life. I felt loved. I felt like those things in my creator field were filled. Those negative things that I had been experiencing were suddenly filled. And so then that brought in my husband because it was like, oh, she's now ready for him. There's things that people do like going to therapy where, and this happened to me too, where people can get stuck in therapy. Again, they're doing all the right things. But again, if you don't look in and go, is this right for me? Instead of this is what everybody's doing, I'm going to do it too. If you don't look in and say, is this right for me? Or have somebody with trained intuition look in, like I can do or anyone can do that's trained, then it might not be something that lands for you. And because our thoughts, again, 95% are subconscious, a lot of times talk therapy can only go so far until we rewire the subconscious. I've been talking to my therapist for decades at this point. Like she's in her late 70s and I mean she's still killer. Like she's the best. But there were times where I was like, I'm just a lifer. Like I'm just a lifer. Now I don't go to her as often as I used to, but I still go to her. And in the beginning, I made some great shifts, but it was all the conscious work I was doing. There was a lull in a little bit of a lull where I wasn't feeling like the needle was moving like it should have, or that I was expecting. Things weren't hitting. The more I started rewiring the subconscious and fixing those holes in my creator field, or attempting to, at least the awareness is huge, the more that therapy would land. The more that the sessions or the suggestions she'd say or the advice she'd say, I'd be like, hmm. Now keep in mind, she's sometimes she will say the same stuff to me over and over and over again. But there's certain days where it just hits different. And that is because not only have I done the subconscious reprogramming, but my creator field has shifted because of all the other work I'm doing. Really, the common denominator here is that not every suggestion out there is going to work for you. I am someone who struggles with meditation. I tried for years to meditate, and all it did was get me frustrated and waste my time. When I intuitively look in, I am a match for meditation to be effective to me about 14%. Sorry, I shoot for 95% or higher. That's not to say down the road that won't be a great tool for me, but it's not a tool that's going to get me unstuck. It's not a tool that is going to help make me the most progress and move the needle the most. And that's why people will try all the things and they will feel so defeated and they will feel so hopeless. It's not that you're hopeless and it's not that you can't heal. It's just you might not be doing the things that are specifically perfect for you and what your body and your mind need. That's where the bread and butter is with healing. We've got to really, really tune in and really, really dial in. Now that my intuition is trained, I now can do that for myself, where don't get me wrong, I will still get stuck in like that contagion or the group mind virus. I'll be like, oh, dang, maybe I need to try that workout. Or oh, I might I might need to order some Aviator Nations. Oh, I might need to order this brand. Like it's real, like I'll go to, let's say, a Pilates class and I'll see some cute sets and I'll be like, dang, everybody's got those. I think I should get some. But then I stop and I take a step back and go, okay, am I a match to that? Like, is that a brand I'm going to like? If it is a brand I'm going to like, what's my perfect size? Is it going to be comfortable for me? Am I going to feel confident in it? That type of thing. Or if it's a supplement, is that a supplement I need, or do I just need an ingredient that is in that supplement that I can get from my food? I think what happens because there is so much noise on, ads and social media and streaming and all of the things is that we often don't stop to really consider. We don't stop to ask ourselves questions. We need to do better. At least I know I am always working on this. I need to do better and be more consistent with asking the right questions. So when I get like stuck in that, and it'll happen, like I'll order something and be like, I don't know what the hell I was just thinking, but I did, you know? And that's okay. That's all part of being a human. That's not to say you beat yourself up for it. It's just you say, okay, what would I do differently next time? Okay, I would check in with my intuition, or I would have a friend who's trained in intuition. I would just text them and ask. If I'm too emotional about something, I would text and ask. Because the reason we get swept up in that is because it's filling a void in our blueprint, in our movie script, in our creator field. And those types of things will keep us stuck or they will keep us from moving forward. And sometimes they'll set us back a little bit. So, really, I try to tailor everything, all of my specific needs using intuition. Nothing is really random. Everything really happens to us for a reason. And I strongly believe that there's just multiple learning opportunities in a day and oftentimes we kind of just don't recognize that it might be as easy as just shifting our creator field to help us heal. And the way we shift our creator field, like I said, is through getting to the emotional root cause of things, through some energetic healing, and oftentimes physical action too. It's all about kind of working harder, not smarter. And quite frankly, like, ain't nobody got time to do all the things that are out there. And for me, I would rather work smarter than work harder. And for me, working smarter is dialing in to figure out what exactly I need to heal specific things, right? If I need to heal A, what are the steps I need to take to do that? And then I do that and I chip away at it. And it's not like it's going to happen overnight. And it's not like this is going to be a thing where one day I will have nothing to work on. As humans, we are always going to have something to work on. We are always going to have something to shift in our creator field. Our creator field, that script you hand out, that blueprint that you follow, it's never perfect. It is never perfect. That's just not life, but it can be better. And don't you always want to be better and evolving? For me, I know I do, right? I just think that's part of this whole experience on this blue marble. So learn from my mistakes, be very careful about the noise out there, and understand that if you're stuck in your healing, and understand that if you're feeling helpless and you're feeling despair and you're feeling like life is just going to suck because of X, Y, and Z, whatever you're going through, please just know that that's not the case. You absolutely can heal. Your body is meant to heal. Your mind can absolutely heal. I'm living proof of that, and I can give you many, many examples of how I've done that and how things have shifted and changed for me. And I know if I can heal, I know you can heal. But it really starts with tailoring what you do specifically for you. What's good and effective and efficient and a great plan for you is going to be very different for me for multiple reasons. Our energies are in different places, our experiences in life are different, our mind, our mentality, our subconscious programming and wiring, all of those things are unique to all of us. It doesn't make us bad, it doesn't make us worse or better than one another. It's just all very different. And I truly, truly believe that every single person can heal. We just have to dial in what your creator field looks like. We have to fix that blueprint. We have to continually tweak that script so that you can live the life you want and you can be happy and you can be healthy and you can have all the experiences and the fun and the joy in the world that you want. You deserve that. We're all deserving of that. So learn from my mistakes. I know this is just scratching the surface of this stuff. I know I went very general. I mean, even though I went general, this is kind of very advanced, but I went general just because I don't want to overwhelm everybody with information. This is like 0.0001% of healing and how to heal, but I think it also is such an important aspect that people need to be aware of. And I think that the more aware we are, the more likely we will be able to heal, and the more likely you will be open to different methods of healing. So again, just scratching the surface. I could go way more in depth, but please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Please feel free to message me. You can email me. I always put that in the show notes. You can set up a call where we can chat. I want you to know that you're not alone, and I want you to understand that it's not that you're going to be stuck like this the rest of your life. It's just that all of the things that you've been doing, they might not just be a good match for you. And that's okay. We've just got to figure out what is a good match for you. Because once we do, that's when true change can happen. That's when the needle really moves. And that's when health and happiness come in. So thank you for joining me today. I very much appreciate it. I appreciate your time, your understanding, your patience, and I will see you next episode.